India, and it's also covered most parts of Europe. And as far as North America Lake is concerned, it's covered most of the cities, major cities in North America and in Canada. The torch that's coming here is part of the Canadian leg of the rally. So it started in Ottawa on September the 2nd, and then thereby it went to Toronto and Calgary, and then it comes down to other American cities. And it's coming here from Los Angeles. So the American Leg of the Torch rally started from Washington D.C. and it's covered most of the eastern part of the city, and it's culminating in Minnesota on the 3rd of November. So it's covered almost many countries all over the world.
Right. And do you see, or what is the response from the people, not just Tibetan but non-Tibetan?
Well, as far as because as Rangul said, and as Giovanni also mentioned about this being not necessarily a political issue, because it's a moral issue. There've been a lot of people who have very much, been interested in this program of supporting the cause, because it pertains to 6 million Tibetans back in Tibet who do not have any kind of freedom. And as I mentioned earlier, the essence of this torch is to convey the message of the people in Tibet, including those who have self-immolated themselves, and then urging the United Nations to take concrete action to deal with the current crisis in Tibet. So because of this very nature, because this, in a way, it's apolitical, not political, there have been a lot of people who've been very much interested in supporting this cause. So in short, people all over the world have been very supportive of this initiative.
And Giovanni, can you tell us about your reaction from people or response on this Flame of Truth?
To be honest with you, it has varied. Some people question what is the point of going to the United Nations. There's 5 members of the United Nations, Permanent Security Council that make up all these decisions, and China's part of it. And what can we do there? And but the response of that from my Tibetan friends to this issue, they say, well, it doesn't matter at this point. What matters is that it's the UN's job to do this. It's the UN's job to protect all the peoples of the world. It's the UN's job to allow all the peoples, especially when their own General Assembly has reaffirmed the rights of a specific people like Tibetans to do this. So we believe. So what I'm saying is that the response I've gotten is that even just on principle alone, this is the right thing to do, to stand up for the truth. Stand for the truth of liberty. We keep hearing about all these self-immolations in Tibet, there's been 60, almost 60 since 2011, of people, many of them young, many of them monks, sometimes 18 years old, could be our son or brother or sister, who have done this. And we have to remember their sacrifice, because as a Buddhist, we believe every human life is precious. And for them, Tibetans in Tibet who are the holders of this beautiful culture, which is, hugely, mostly based on the Buddhist faith of peace and love and compassion. For them to move from a situation where they have even give up their life and commit such horrific result to their own bodies is a sort of a reminder of sort of the self-sacrifice that we need in this world to get attention against such barbaric forces. And what's happening in Tibet, if sooner or later, this type of repression, when it goes unchecked or unwatched, it has this seepage effect. Eventually, then we will find ourselves suffering from this, especially if we turn a blind eye through the law of cause and effect. We will reap these, this kind of suffering too. So even for our own self-interest worldwide, we should be standing up and standing for these Tibetans who have self-immolated. It shouldn't have taken 60 Tibetans to self-immolate and still the world not much paying attention. So we have to give the voice to the truth, and that's what this flame is.
If I may
to do.
add that, this self-immolation, I consider it as the highest form of non-violent kind of a sacrifice or demonstration against, as Giovanni put it, the barbaric authorities. So basically, like I say it, highest form of non-violent activity because, unlike the fundamentalists or some fedayins as they use in the eastern part of the world, where one not only commits suicide but also in the process kill many other people as well. But here in the case of Tibet, like they just kill themselves, just for the cause of Tibet, without trying to harm even the so-called adversaries who are, like wandering around. They try to avoid them so that even the Chinese security person who are there are not harmed. The Tibetan self-immolators, they have been doing that. Their only objective was to burn themselves so that the plea of the Tibetan people in Tibet is heard all over the world. That's what it is. That's why I consider this as the highest form of non-violent struggle.
So, Kunjula, maybe this is the right question for you. Like there's a lot of self-immolation going on in Tibet, and then we do see that there is media attention, but we are not getting that much that we are supposed to be. So, what do you think that Tibet, as a Tibet support group here, can do different and pass the message to the international community about this situation going on right now?
As we've been all talking about the flame of truth, basically this is to like convey the message of what the people in Tibet are not being able to get the message out. Right. So that's the essence of this. So we're doing this through protest, and we're doing through the website, through the internet, through Twitter. There are various ways of getting the word out about what's happening back in Tibet, because the Tibetans in Tibet, they do not have any kind of a freedom. Everything is gagged there. The media, the international media is not allowed there. There's no freedom of speech there. So what we are doing here is on their behalf, trying to convey the message to the world outside that that's what's happening in Tibet.
So you think that this flame of truth, that torch that is going on, will bring more changes? That's what
we're expecting, and we are hoping, because with the torch making all over the world, and with signature campaigns from all over the world, we are just very kind of hopeful that United Nations will do at least something.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, how you kind of raise this awareness? I mean, this issue is to the world attention. Is I mean, the basic thing that you can do as an American citizen is to lobby your local representative, your senator, your congressman and woman, and even president or your secretary of state, or the human rights organizations, which stands for human rights. So this is how you. I mean, we don't have to look at the bigger picture. I mean, it starts every kind of struggle or initiative starts from yourself. So if you take as a citizen of the United States to take this responsibility of kind of lobbying your representative and kind of giving them information about what's happening in Tibet, the dire situation in Tibet, and then a lot of drastic propagandas that is being carried out by Chinese government. If you put out those facts to the representative and ask them to raise this in the assembly, then this is how you raise the awareness, because the local representative are the representation of your local area. So they are obligated to raise the human rights situation or human rights issue, moral values to the right people. That's what I think.
Giovanni, you want to add on that?
I just wanted to add, in addition to demanding that the Dalai Lama be allowed to return back to Tibet, they're demanding religious freedom in Tibet. They don't have religious freedom. Tibet's 4 main schools of Tibetan Buddhism, the leaders of all these groups, all these schools, they have to live